Hi, Bruce. Welcome to the Healing and Holistic Center. I'm so happy we were able to connect and meet today. I'm Darlene McNaughton, and I'm a counselor here at the center. I just wanted to say thank you so much for your call last week, letting me know that you were interested in coming in. I'm really happy we were able to make this meeting happen.
Awesome. Well, thanks. Thanks for having me today and making the time for me. I really appreciate
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm really excited. We're going to be spending about the next hour together. So if you have any questions or concerns at any time, Bruce, throughout our meeting, just let me know.
it. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, of course. I just want to let you know that here at the center and, during our meeting, it's really a place of non judgment and also a space where your confidentiality is really important and respected. What you say in here stays in here, with the exception being if you're at risk of harming someone else or yourself, or if there is a child in need of protection. So those would be the only exceptions where I might have to get someone else involved. And if that were to happen, I would definitely have a conversation with you beforehand.
Thanks. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, oh, great. Okay. Any questions about that?
No, no. Well, sounds pretty standard. Yeah.
Okay. And and then also, I want to let you know that this is your time and your space. So if there's anything that you want to share, if there's any questions or concerns that you have throughout, please feel free to ask at any time.
Thanks.
Absolutely. So I thought I would share a little bit about the Healing and Wellness Center here. Have you heard much about it before?
Well, just a friend of mine had came here before, and they said they liked the services that they had, and it helped them a lot. So that's all.
Okay, great. And I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, you've heard good things about the center. And yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about it. So it's an Anishinaabe run wellness center. So we have a variety of programs, one being the one to one counseling. So that typically, the process is normally about once a week meetings for about an hour at a time. We also have a lot of other programs as well. So we have peer support wellness circles that meet weekly. We have traditional programming, weekly sweats.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, great. Yeah. So Bruce, I prepared a pamphlet for you with kind of a breakdown of all of our programming. So if there's anything that you are interested in, you can just connect with reception at the center. The number is on the pamphlet, and they can help you get set up.
Oh, thanks. That's awesome.
Great, yeah. I also want to share a little bit about myself as well. So I'm grew up in the area, um, and I have a background in psychology. Right now I'm working on my master's in social work program part time, and I've been with the Healing and Holistic Center for about 4 years
Oh,
now.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have any questions about the center or about me?
Oh, not yet. I guess that's all pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, and like I said, Bruce, any questions at all throughout or any concerns, just feel free to ask away.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I really, view this as kind of a partnership and a collaborative partnership where we'll kind of work through everything together.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank
Yeah. Um, so just to begin, just to help me get a better understanding of you and what your concerns are. I'm just going to ask you some questions. Is,
Of
is
course.
that
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Great, great. Um, so, Bruce, have you had any, what experiences have you had with counseling in the past?
Well, this is my first time really coming in for counseling, although I guess when I was really young in grade school, I had a speech pathologist that I would see, and they helped me with my S sounds, so I could say school bus. Yeah.
Nice.
So, but,
And
yeah, that was it, really.
right, okay,
Yes.
so that's kind of been your experience, and how was that experience
Oh, it
for
was
you?
really good. I mean, they helped me speak well, and I remember they gave me an ice cream cone, so I was a pretty happy kid. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So it sounds like it was a pretty positive
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Um, was there anything that you found particularly helpful about that experience or not helpful?
Oh, it was a long time. Really, is vague the memories. I
Right.
remember enjoying going to the classes. The pathologist was a friendly person, and so she made us feel welcome. It was good.
Oh, that's great. So yeah, I think that yeah, it's nice when there's that welcoming atmosphere, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. Um, Bruce, can you tell me a little bit about what the important things are that you want me to understand about what's brought you in today?
Well, I mean, it's just anxiety and stress that I've been experiencing at work. It's feeling very overwhelmed,
Right.
um, and it's just kind of taken over my life, and I'm hoping I can get some help with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I hear you're saying you're kind of going through a lot of experiencing a lot of anxiety and stress right now.
Yeah, yeah, it's like work's overwhelming and stressful, and I feel like I'm always working in the evenings and weekends, and trying to keep up with the deadlines, and it's affected my relationship with my wife and my daughter.
Right.
And so that was kind of part of the reason for coming in, and yeah, it's been kind of challenging, overwhelming.
Right. Yeah. So I'm hearing you say you're feeling overwhelmed. Yeah. And Bruce, what would you say the most significant thing is that you want to talk about today?
Well, just that stress and anxiety that I feel at work. I feel like I get really anxious about tasks, and then I procrastinate and avoid them, and then it becomes like a really big issue. As then suddenly I've got something due, like a presentation or a report, and I've got to like work all night to finish it,
Right.
and it affects my mood. It's just very overwhelming.
Right. So I'm hearing you say that you're um, experiencing stress and anxiety, you're feeling overwhelmed, and that at work and you're having some experiences with procrastination at work.
Yeah, I think like if I would spend my time wisely, I might be able to get on top of things, but I'm just so distracted all the time. I've got staff coming in, they want my time. I've got people emailing me and calling me. I've got other organizations that want, my time, and it's just, and then I got these bigger kind of projects that need my attention that I just am stressed out about, so I don't look at them right away. I'm so easily distracted with the million other tasks that are legitimate work tasks, but maybe not the ones I should be working on. And then, it just kind of gets worse and worse, and snowballs. and now I'm feeling like I'm overwhelmed. I'm working all the time. I'm working in the evenings. I'm working on the weekends, and then my wife's not happy with that, and so we're fighting and never get ahead. And it's just kind of just I'm at my breaking point. I need something to change.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing you say there's a lot going on at work and you're feeling overwhelmed and it's kind of affecting all
Yes.
areas of your life right now. Can you tell me a little bit about your job, Bruce?
Well, I'm a program manager. I
Mm-hmm.
coordinate 4 programs. I have a staff, and I take care of all the budgeting and proposal writing. I report to the provincial government as well as the federal government. I report to senior management and chief and council, all of which require different reports. So, just the reporting alone is always a problem. And then, I have to give presentations to the community. I have to give presentations to chief and council again, to other organizations. I have to attend meetings. I'm on committees and boards. There's just so much demand on my time. It's hard to get it all.
Uh, Absolutely. It sounds like you have a very busy job with a lot of different demands. Hmm. Yeah. So, Bruce, how long would you say that you've been experiencing these feelings of stress and anxiety and the procrastination that you've shared with me?
Well, at least for the last 4 years, I've been in this role. But I mean, I think it was before then, but I could manage it better then because
Hmm.
there wasn't quite as much work. And now with this new job, there's just so much work that I can't keep up anymore.
Right. So it's been since kind of the beginning of this with this job,
Yeah,
you would say.
yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So it's been quite some time.
Yes.
Yeah. And Bruce, can you remember when you first began experiencing these feelings of stress and anxiety?
Yeah, it was when I first started working in this job here. I remember being hired, and the previous coordinator was already gone. They'd been gone for 6 months. The reporting was already a year and a half behind. I had no one there who could tell me how to do my job, so I had to just figure it out on my own and catch up. And I just felt like it was like one hurdle after the next, and it just never ended. Like it just that's how it's been the whole time.
Right. So you feel like you kind of walked into a challenging
Oh
situation.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
and it just doesn't.
Right. And Bruce, how would you say that the kind of the stress and anxiety and the procrastination that you described, how has it affected the different areas of your life? I know you shared a little bit about that with me, with what's
Yeah,
going on
absolutely.
with
Like,
your home.
well, a lot of arguments with my wife, and
Yeah.
and she's not very happy. And, it's no wonder because I'm always working, or if I'm not at work, I'm thinking about work. I'm not as more stressed than I used to be. I used to enjoy spending time with my family, and now I barely have any time to do that. I used to do things for myself. I'd like to go fishing and hunting and hiking, and I don't do any of that anymore because it's just there's no time. There's no time for it at all, and I just find like now I go to work and I'm stressed there, and then I come home and fight with my wife, and I'm stressed there, and it's just no escape. It's just all
Right.
stress all the time.
Yeah. So, um, how so it sounds like there are some hobbies that you enjoy, and um, and and you had a good relationship with your wife. Am I understanding that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, before.
yeah. And what was it like? before when you were able to do some of your hobbies like fishing and
Oh, it was
hunting?
awesome. I mean, I think you know, everyone was happier then. You know, and I was happier. You know, I miss that getting out on the land. It's important. You know, spending time with my family, super important, and I'm missing it. You know, I'm just missing it all. And you know, I don't want to be a grumpy, you know, angry father and husband. That's what I am now because I'm just continually, you know, working or stressing out about work.
Right. And when's the last time you were able to get out hunting and fishing?
Oh, I mean, probably at least a year ago. Maybe I
Right.
went like once, and then you know, it just doesn't really happen anymore.
Right. Yeah. How do you feel when you're able to go out?
Well, it feels good. You know, when you get out into the wilderness and you just kind of feel like it all melts away. You know,
Right.
you connect with the land and the things you love. Sometimes I bring my daughter, you know, and we'll go on a hike together. And that's really special.
Well, it sounds like some really nice memories that you have of doing that. It
Mm-hmm.
sounds like it was a really great, positive experience
Oh yeah,
for
I
you.
mean, I
Yeah.
just you know that's what I want to get back to.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that with me. Yeah. And Bruce, what made you feel like now was the right time to come in and meet with someone to get support?
Well, I mean, the fighting with my wife has become pretty well just constant, you
Right.
know, so that's kind of a big deal. And then I was talking to my friend who had been here, and they said they were able to help him,
Mm-hmm.
and so I thought, well, fuck, something's got to give, so give this a try.
Absolutely. So it sounds like it was kind of a process because you said it's been kind of going on for about these feelings of stress and
Oh
anxiety
yeah,
and
no,
because it's been about
4 years.
right. And then so it's been a process, and then with your wife, kind of with what's going on at home, and then your friend having the positive experiences, kind of
Yeah, I mean,
progress.
kind of led me
Yeah.
here, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. You know, I've tried doing nothing for a long time, and that didn't work, and tried working harder, and that just made everything worse. So I don't know what to do.
Yeah. And so, how are you feeling um, about coming in?
Well, I feel good. I hope, you know, I can get some help and and change things because I can't go on like this anymore. So
Right.
I'm really optimistic that this is gonna help.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, it sounds like you're ready to try something new.
Yes.
Right. Great. Yeah. Yeah. So, Bruce, I know I've been asking you a lot of questions, so I just wanted to take a pause for a moment and just check in with you and see how you're doing with all the with our meetings so far.
Oh, well, it's a little bit. Well, I guess I'm a little nervous, but
Yeah.
it's you know kind of the first time I've talked about this with anyone other than my wife, and it's a lot to kind of process. It feels good to hear it. You know what I mean? Kind of, you know, for a bit. Yeah, it's been hard. It's been really difficult, but yeah, I'm nervous and but optimistic. I hope that it's going to help.
Yeah, absolutely. That's completely understandable. Like the feeling, the nervousness, right? And I think that's a pretty common experience when we're in a new situation or with a new person meeting for the first time. Um, yeah, so I mean, I think I can definitely understand where those feelings are coming from. So, yeah, that's why I wanted to take a pause and And thank you for sharing that with me too, Bruce. And, anytime that you have any questions or concerns, please know that, um, you can kind of come in with them at any time, at any point throughout our meeting. And yeah, we'll definitely take things, at your pace as well. And if there's ever any questions that you don't feel comfortable answering, please know that you don't have to answer anything you don't
Sure.
want to. And I'm glad to hear that, just expressing what's going on is helpful.
Thanks.
Yeah. Um, are you okay to continue, or would you like to?
No, we can go. We can continue. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
Okay, great. Um, so, Bruce, do you ever remember a time where you were able to work through the feelings of stress and anxiety and the procrastination that you described?
Well, before I worked here in my previous job, it was a lot less work. So while I
Mm-hmm.
still kind of had anxiety and procrastination, I was able to manage it. Like it was manageable, the level of work. Whereas now it's just like the work is maybe 10 times as much, so it's just not manageable. And so that was probably the biggest, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to working here, it was still kind of an issue, but not unmanageable. Whereas now it's taken over.
So you had some success when there wasn't as much demand on your time with the feelings of stress and anxiety. My
Mm-hmm.
understanding
Mm-hmm.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Is there any other times that you've had success with managing those, with coping with those feelings of stress and anxiety, or is that procrastination?
Well, there was a time when I used to go to the gym before work,
Mm-hmm.
and I would do an hour workout before I went into the office,
Right.
and that I can remember feeling really good at that time, and it was the first time I really was able to successfully work out and do it to keep it up, and I can remember feeling really energetic and really had a lot of confidence. So I felt like I was just really strong and doing, really, it, you know, really good to work out in the morning and then go to work and you feel amazing. Days just started and you've already had your workout done and I felt really good. But that didn't last very long. Eventually we had to move offices and then we weren't close to the gym anymore. And of course with COVID now the gyms are closed, so it's just not practical anymore to do that.
Right. So I'm hearing you say that when you were able to go to the gym, it was somewhat helpful. Is my understanding that?
Oh yeah, it felt
Yeah.
great. Like I even remember like just running on the treadmill before work and you kind of think about what's going on in the day and you kind of get a bit of a plan going. By the time I got to my office at 9 o'clock, I was ready to go. Like I was ready to go. And it gave me so, I just remember so much energy for having worked out in the morning. You'd think you'd be more tired during the day, but it was just the opposite. It was totally felt good. And it made me feel good about myself and so it was really good. I was really disappointed when I couldn't continue doing that.
Right. And what effects uh, did going to the gym before work have, like, on your feelings of anxiety and stress at
They
work?
well, it did help. It did make me feel more like I could handle what was going on and a little more, like I said, confident.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I still, I think a little bit probably did, tend to procrastinate around some of the things I didn't want to do, which
Mm-hmm.
it always ends up being the most important things that I should have done, right? But yeah, so I mean, it was all around better when I was working out, sure.
Right. Well, I'm glad to hear that you had that positive experience. So what kinds of things helped you be able to go to the gym before work?
Well, there was the proximity, so like I
Yeah.
was closer to it, so that made it just really easy. You know what I mean? And I think I had some colleagues that were working out, and they kind of encouraged me to keep going and work out, and eventually, um, that's what got me going, and I really ended up enjoying it, and so it was a really positive experience. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it.
It sounds like you had some colleagues that were supportive
Oh yeah,
at
oh
that
yeah,
time.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They were cool.
that's great. Um, and how did you feel when you were able to? I know you shared a little bit about it with that, but how did that feel? Like kind of at work or at home when you were able to go to the gym?
Oh, I feel just better, like
Yeah,
all around. More energy, more confidence, more strength. And I felt like, you know, successful people, they work out before work. So I felt like I was like on track to being really successful and productive.
right,
But yeah, to be honest,
right. So I'm hearing you say that at that time you were feeling optimistic.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. And do you think there's anything important to like remember or take away from that experience that you had?
Well, yeah, I mean, totally. I guess I should be working out before work. But it's just like I said, I'm not able to go to the gym
Mm-hmm.
anymore before work. I mean, you could still work out, right? You could still exercise, but I just feel like I'm so overwhelmed now. Like if I'm staying up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning working, then I'm not getting out of bed early enough or refreshed enough to want to do anything other than just crawl to work. And so I'm just kind of worn out all the
Right.
time, and I feel like everything's just like spinning out of control. Like I don't have a routine that I
Right.
can work within. It's just what's the next hurdle, and then get over that hurdle, and hopefully the next one doesn't hit you in the face. Like you just keep going and going and going.
So I'm hearing you say that you're kind of having some difficulties with balance in your
Yeah.
life.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And Bruce, is there any other successes that you've had, or anything else that you've found that's helped you with the anxiety and stress and procrastination that you described?
Not really. I mean, I started smudging in my office now, and I do find that helps. Just to kind of release the negativity and try to like set like myself up for a good day. And I say my prayers and cleanse myself and my mind and hope go in a good way. And I've actually that does help, but I mean I just think there's so much that's beyond what just the smudge and prayer in the morning is gonna fix. Yeah.
Right. How long have you been smudging and praying for?
Probably like a couple of months now. Yeah.
Right. And so I'm hearing you say that you do find it somewhat helpful, but you're still having those feelings of
Sure.
stress and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you are able to smudge and pray in the morning, how do you feel afterwards?
Oh, a little bit more calm, a
Mm,
little bit less distracted. Um, kind of feel like kind of relieves a little bit of the guilt
right.
for not being, already, better at all this.
What kind of gave you the idea to begin smudging and praying?
I used to as a child, and I received that teaching from my uncle. And I received a feather and medicines and was taught how to smudge. But then, I kind of put it down for a long time and just, was, I guess out of desperation, I thought, oh, geez, well, maybe it's time to pick that up again. And it has helped. Yeah.
It's good. I'm glad to hear that. That's, you know, somewhat helpful for you right now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. And what do you think is important to remember about this experience, about how this has been helpful to you?
Well, it makes me wonder about the sweat lodges that you guys do. Maybe I should check that out, and that might help too. Um, and listen to our teachings, and maybe that can help me.
That's great, Bruce. Yeah, and you know, um, I wonder too, how have you been able to be so strong for so long with coping with the stress and
Well, I think it
anxiety?
just I haven't really been, and that's the problem. Is I've been just so focused on whatever deadline's next in front of me that it's just like seems like the time went by quickly. Like I just
Right.
I've been just so focused on treading water. 4 years go by. You know what I mean? And then you realize I'm stressed and not happy, and family's not happy. So there I am.
Right. Right. And Bruce, can you tell me a little bit about um, some of the resources that you have in your life that have been helpful to you? So, and the supports that you have?
Well, I mean, I guess my wife has been really supportive, although I think lately we've been fighting a lot more. I think she's probably reached the end of her rope in terms of her patience, but um, and then really I got a couple of friends, but I don't really see them much anymore, um, just because we've got our lives, you know, and and I kind of turned to the medicines that I've been using.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yes, it sounds like you do have some supports that you've shared. So, your wife, although that's a little, um, there's some concerns that you have there right now. And then the medicines as well. Yeah, yeah. And is there anything out there that you would be interested in accessing for supports that you haven't accessed before? I know you had mentioned some interest in maybe the sweats.
Yeah, I think, it's probably been something I've put off for a long time is kind of getting more involved with my culture and doing those things, smudging, sweat lodge, ceremony. I think that might be something I should explore. But again, it's like time, right?
Right,
So I'm always seem to be running up against that, you know.
right, yeah. So it does sound like you have, some things that you are kind of interested in as well, in possibly supports and
And I'd like to start, doing more, getting out more with my daughter and my wife, on hikes, fishing and hunting, that sort of thing. I think that's really important for me and for my family to spend that time together and to get out into the bush together. And I think that's really it's feeling for me. I think probably for them as well. Um, so I would like to try to get more of that in.
absolutely, yeah. So it sounds like there's definitely some supports in some areas that might be helpful for you to explore that you're interested in.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
am I understanding
Yeah.
that?
Absolutely.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. So Bruce, is what's working now um, in terms of helping you cope with the stress and the anxiety and the procrastination? I know you had mentioned a few things like the
Yeah.
praying and the smudging.
That's really
Mm-hmm.
what I've been using. I think I should probably start exercising again. Actually, just talking about it, I kind of forgot how beneficial that had been for me. I think I probably should really start that again. I think that might help.
Right.
Um, or at least feel better about myself, and then maybe start to work on my procrastinating in the office and focusing on the tasks that I need to get done. I think that's kind of where I think there's a lot of opportunity to improve things. Because yeah, and I just think sometimes I'm just so worn out that when I get in my office and it's quiet, it's like the only like quietness I get. So what I mean. Maybe I don't want to do my work. I want to unplug for a minute, and so that kind of it's just not balanced. I should be doing that after work, not during work. Like so, yeah. Just feel like I'm kind of spread out all over the place.
Right. So I'm hearing you say that you have some concerns about procrastination and balance and managing your time.
Yeah.
Is that something you're interested in learning more about? Is
Yeah,
time management?
I've always struggled with that, and I've just have an issue with control, and I don't like being controlled or feeling that I'm being controlled, and even a schedule where I schedule my day by, what hours I do this, what hours I do that. I always felt like that was like too controlling. I didn't want to be controlled like that, but I'm getting to a point in my life where I think maybe I need to like get over it and maybe that type of control would be beneficial. But I don't, I'm not good at it. Like I've avoided it my whole life, so I'm not very good at implementing that type of a regime, I guess. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that with me, for clarifying that as well. So, um, I'm hearing you say that, control's been um, definitely something that you've had some experiences with in the past, and possibly you're interested in um, look interested in kind of looking at in the future,
Yeah, yeah,
exploring. Mm-hmm.
I gotta, figure out some way to balance it all. So
Right.
I just, it's just out of control now. My life out of control. I think I need to find some control.
Right. Well, thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else that you want to share about that?
Oh no, I guess that's it's pretty well me in a nutshell, I guess.
And what have been your successes, Bruce? So, at work or at home or
Right.
with some of the, I know you shared some of the things that are working with or that had worked with going to the gym and with smudging and
Well, I mean,
praying.
I've been successful in a sense. Like I've grown the program since I started there. Um, I've quadrupled the programming. I've I've doubled the budget and tripled the staff. So my program's growing, successful. Just it's killing me to do it. And then, I mean, I'm very happy about my family. I have a beautiful wife and a daughter I love very much. And I always wanted to have a family. So, I mean, I'm very happy about that. But that also, it's like really upsetting that I'm not able to balance the two, and that, my family is telling me, they're not happy because I'm, working too much, and that's bothersome to me. Not getting to spend the time with my daughter and my wife like I, would like to is very, it just takes the energy out of me. So that's really why I wanted, to change and help to change.
Absolutely. As I'm hearing you say that you've had a lot of success at work and you have a lot of success and happiness with your family. It's just you're experiencing some challenges with finding that balance
Yeah,
at this
yeah,
time, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. Um, so, Bruce, if a miracle could happen that could kind of help with the concerns that you're having, um, what do you think you could do now to create a piece of that miracle?
A miracle. Oh boy. Well, geez. I think, spending more time with my family,
Mm-hmm.
kind of trying to prioritize them, over my work. And then, you know, putting in more structure into my work day, um, to better prioritize my time would probably be really good. And then I guess working out, I mean, probably should be doing that too. I kind of forgot, how good that felt. And then I'd like to do that again.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Bruce. It sounds like you have some really great ideas about the direction that you could possibly take. So our time is it's starting to come to an end. So I just want to make sure I haven't overlooked anything that's important that you wanted to chat about today. Is there anything that we've missed?
Oh wow. No, I mean, wow, we went through a lot. I guess didn't really. That was a lot. I didn't really expect to talk that much, but no, I guess that was good. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. And I'm just going to ask you a few questions just for feedback for our next session. So, is what did you find helpful about our session today?
Oh man. Well, it was a lot to boy to think about. I guess felt good to kind of talk about it and put it out there. And
Mm-hmm.
I haven't talked about it a lot before, except for with my wife, and we normally fight about it. So it was good to kind of let let it out a bit, get it off my chest.
Right, I'm glad to hear that. And what wasn't maybe so helpful about our meeting today? Is there anything?
No, it's been good.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. That was helpful. And so we'll meet again. We have our next meeting scheduled for next week. Um, how would you like things to be the same or different at our next meeting?
No, that's good. Yeah, yeah. No, we'll keep doing this.
Okay, great.
It's been helpful.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Is there any changes that you would like to make in how we're communicating for our next meeting?
No, I think this is working really well. I appreciate you listening to me, and I think it's been good.
I'm glad to hear that. Um, and Bruce, what do you think our next steps together should be at our next meeting?
Well, I guess I'd like to maybe talk about why I procrastinate until I'm in such a
Mm-hmm.
bad situation, and then I'm you know rushing last minute. Like sometimes I think about like the work I could get. Like if I can get that much work done in a short amount of time, right before the deadline, the day before. I mean, what could I accomplish if I had been working that whole time? You know what I mean? But I procrastinate until it's like after the last minute, and then I have to like pull miracles out of my hat to get prepared, and I'm only half prepared, and it seems to be good enough, you know. But I'd like to be more balanced, and I think I'd be able to achieve much more. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm hoping to improve.
Absolutely. So I'm hearing you say that at our meeting next week, you would like to talk about um, procrastination and balance in
Yes,
your
yes,
life.
yes, yes,
Okay, absolutely, definitely. We can do that. So, Bruce, I just kind of want to do a quick recap and summary about what you shared with me today, just to make sure that I understood everything correctly.
sure.
If please feel free to let me know if there's anything that you want to add or if I didn't get something right. So what I'm hearing you say is that you come in because you um, are feeling stressed and you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed at work right now with the substantial demands that you have on your time
Mm-hmm.
at work.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and that you're also having some challenges around how you feel you're managing your time and with procrastinating at work. And that has kind of affected your different areas in your life, and it's kind of affected the relationship with your wife and your daughter, and that you're feeling maybe that you're not um, as present as you would like to be, and
Yeah,
at home.
absolutely.
Um, I'm also hearing you say um, that you had gone to the gym for a period of time, and that helped you cope with some of your feelings of stress and anxiety and gave you more energy throughout your workday. And now that you're smudging and praying, that's been helpful in coping with some of those feelings of stress and anxiety
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. And I think maybe I'm interested in some of the sweats and stuff that you guys do here.
Absolutely, yeah, and we can talk about that too. And I got the pamphlet, and we can see when the next one is. And if you're
Super,
interested
super.
in,
Yeah, I think I'm ready to do that. Yeah.
that's wonderful. And it sounds like you had some really great ideas about what you wanted your next steps to be. So I know you had mentioned possibly you're interested in joining some of the sweats and the programs that we have, exploring those traditional um, elements, and then you were also interested in possibly starting to exercise and having a little bit, making a little more time for your family as well. And then you had mentioned that for our next session that you want to kind of talk about um, your time at work, procrastination, and finding some balance in your life.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And so is that a did I understand?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And is there anything that you would like to add or?
No, no. I think that's a lot. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, Bruce, I can't thank you enough for coming in today, and I really enjoyed meeting with you. Um, I'm really looking forward to our next meeting next week, and I'm really looking forward to working collaboratively with you on your healing and wellness journey.
Oh, thanks so much. I really appreciate coming in today. It feels better already just having like gotten that out, and I'm really kind of looking forward to our next appointment, and I hope that this will get better. So thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bruce.
Bye, Muppy.
Bye, P. Bye.